was dealing with a probate situation, and I needed a valuation for a property in Hornsey, my uncle's house. And I contacted quite a few estate agents to offer a valuation, and I had explained to them it was for probate. At that point, I wasn't ready to sell. Martin Gerard was one of those estate agents. They gave a very realistic figure that I could send to HMRC, but also they were persistent after that, just checking to see when I might be ready to sell. I liked their attitude. For some reason, I remembered them quite specifically. So when I was ready to sell, it was a no-brainer for me to go back to them. What was interesting with Treon was he very much behaved the way you would expect an independent estate agent to behave, not someone that was that was working for a chain of estate agencies. In that it was a very personal service. He would return my calls. He would answer emails. So it really took the pressure off dealing with him, because if I had any concerns, as you do when you're selling a property and dealing with estate agents and dealing with solicitors and so on, everything becomes a problem. And it's very easy for you to be kind of pushed aside and have to wait 3 days for someone to come back from holiday, and then whatever your concern was, you're fobbed off. Never got that. I always felt that he had an investment in representing his company and in representing me. Treon is an excellent communicator, and he responded really quickly to emails and phone calls. If he was at the office and a message was left for him, he would, as soon as he got back in, he would call, or he would call on his way back. So his speed of response was amazing. Treon is a very empathetic person. I was dealing with a probate property, which obviously meant bereavement, and throughout he was very conscious of that, and I felt very protected from some of the excesses of solicitors because of the way he managed the two sets of solicitors. The very first impression I had of Treon was someone who knew the area, and he asked questions about my relationship to the property and listened, and often he would refer back to it. Say, I mentioned to him that I had grown up in that property. I'd lived there as a child, and that resonated with him. He knew the history of the area, which was amazing because he's very young, and not very young, but young enough. And he knew the history of that type of house. Over the period of time I was dealing with Martin Gerard and Treon, I grew to trust Treon. And this was because he really always went over and above. An example is I actually don't live anywhere near the property that I was in Hornsey that I was selling. It was a probate property. And Treon used the local office to me in order to make it easy for me in terms of the paperwork. And he would bring it to my house. He was very, very aware that my own situation, I had a lot of responsibilities here, and I wasn't as flexible as I otherwise might have been, and didn't need telling at all. He would offer. And he was never pushy at all. So yeah, I did trust him. I definitely felt this was someone who had high moral standards. My experience of Treon was he was committed to people, and he saw me as a person, not just as a client. He listened, he realized what my needs were in that situation, and he was a perfect buffer between me and the various elements that goes into selling a probate property. I definitely felt this was a very compassionate person to deal with, a compassionate estate agent to deal with. Treon always went above and beyond throughout the process, above and beyond in the timely way he got back to me, above and beyond in the way he dealt with my own solicitor, who was really quite difficult to deal with, above and beyond in terms of managing the buyer and the buyer's complicated situation. He also had to deal with the fact that I wasn't local to his office, and he would come to me to make sure that I wasn't inconvenienced and didn't have to travel to the Hornsey office. The thing that impressed me the most about Treon from the start was his ability to read situations, to read people. The fact that he'd done his research on my house, the house I was selling, and on the area before he had arrived, so that we can have a constructive conversation. Even though it was a little light conversation, it lasted, it remained with me. And he very much responded to the needs of the individual. It wasn't simply an estate client situation where you got the sense that there were so many clients, you were at the bottom of a list. I have a feeling all his clients were made to feel that they counted. I think it's very easy to have a client estate agent relationship that is purely about the percentage that the property is being sold for, and the sense that the estate agent is representing one side and not another. Sometimes estate agents come in, they tell you the price, one price, and then they tell you, oh, they can't sell it at that price, and you start knocking it down, and all sorts of games are played. And I have had a lot of experience of not very nice experiences over the years of buying and selling properties. And Treon is definitely one of the best experiences of dealing with an estate agent I've had. And there are a few out there, really good people who care and want to do a great job. And Treon is definitely someone who cares and who wants to do a great job for his clients. The reason I'm doing this testimonial for Treon and giving up my time to do it is because in the time that I was dealing with Treon, he gave up his time. He did go into his own time to make sure that I was a satisfied customer. I have every confidence in him. I would recommend Treon, Martin Gerard, Crouch End to anyone. I think they would have it. Not only, the thing is, it isn't about selling a property or buying a property. It is such a lifelong, lasting experience. It's you accumulate memories. So I would say that Treon is a sort of estate agent that would help you have a good experience and accumulate good memories.